Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Amazons or Amazon Riders for you stupid people, episode 11. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze.
My dude, welcome back. We just got done watching this episode and it was really good. And I feel like the biggest hook of that episode is that ending. Like that really left a good lasting impression. And I feel like what you were saying earlier is starting to become true. The show starts like garbage and then it ends up like they pick up their pieces and clean up their act toward the end.
Yeah, and like during like the middle of the episode, I was saying it was kind of getting like cheesy and a little bit fartsy at times, but like as opposed to like the previous episodes, they really went for it this episode. They try to do like a lot of creative and just like emotionally provoking things, especially that coin motif, where when the team was like really just like getting split up. This is one of the moments where I kind of appreciate Mamoru's kind of like childlike, mentality, because he's just like, he can't like handle like why like people are having like all these complex motivations and stuff like that. He just like, we're a team, and well, money is what keeps us together, right? Well, here's the money. Like, can't we be a team now? I was like,
like,
good on you.
Yeah, something weird this episode happened where I feel like I'm seeing him as a child for the first time. I don't know what it was early on in this show's run where I just couldn't connect that face to a child, but somehow they framed him in a way, they shot him in a way, and they just presented this childlike character through him that ultimately worked. And I don't know what exactly changed. Well, obviously the director, but something changed in the way that the lens viewed him to where I now see him as a kid, and I can fully get behind him not being able to associate certain things correctly. Like, I get why
or
they
just
all
act like
call
an
him.
adult in general.
Yeah.
That's something that they explained very early to us in the series, though. They said that he was in like the special like experiment where they kind of had him when he was young and probably didn't experience a lot of the things that a normal person would. So,
right, but I never really understood it until now. I never really saw it until now. Perception is reality, and if I'm not seeing it and if I'm not like gathering it, you can tell me these things, but if you don't show it to me correctly, I'm not gonna grasp it. This episode did a really good job of encapsulating him, and like the last few episodes, and showing him as a kid, and I get it.
Go ahead.
I was... It just made it especially hard when that twist hit. The very thing that brought them back together is the thing that's going to tear them apart.
Yeah, like immediately after too. And just to kind of like piggyback on what you were saying before, one of the biggest things that's changed with his character, I feel, like in the context of the series, is that they gave him purpose. In, like the episodes prior, he would just be kind of being a kid because he is a kid. Like, we've already been told that, but it was just kind of like bogging us down, just like being really annoying. Just like, why isn't he just acting like an adult? Like, it's making the show worse because he's not acting like a normal person. But in the situation in this episode, there was a purpose for it, and they fulfilled it well. And like that whole like the whole third act of the episode just encapsulated why the character was made the way he was. Shoot.
I understand now, because like it is just as you say. Like earlier on when he didn't really have anything to do with anything outside of just being the de facto Amazon before. Ah! Amazon! You know, like, um, now I understand him because we have this context of what he is to the team.
Yeah. But
we
yeah.
haven't seen that side of him. We've seen everyone tolerate him, which is very different from everyone seeing him as their emotional core, as the team's emotional core.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I feel like that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, but he wasn't the only part of that team who was kind of significant in this episode. What do you feel about Sigma this episode? Because I feel like this is probably his best episode. It was the one he got taken down in, but just his fight scenes were freaking amazing.
I feel like the fight scenes across the board were pretty amazing this episode. Like, one of my favorite shots was like, Amazon going after him, grabbing him by the shoulder, and then like his entire body flipping back, and his leg just like whack, and then right back down. I also I absolutely love the moments where like the wire work is so. It's so
wonky.
Yeah, it's so noticeable, but I love it. Like, Red goes in for like his main attack or his final attack, and then like he just lifts his leg slightly and he starts moving horizontally into the guy.
It's like, oh, hello. You're not closer to me.
It was friggin' great. Oh
yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing too. Like even though like the special effects aren't as like I can't say they're not clean because okay, I guess yeah. Even though the special effects aren't like as clean as they would be in like a modern Kamen Rider or modern Heisei Kamen Rider, it still looked good. Still looked entertaining. That's like the type of action I like seeing in this series.
That's
and it just
weird.
Works.
This looks entertaining. I don't know if it
like it looks entertaining, but I'm not sure like how to describe it in terms of like technicality.
Yeah. It's. I feel like what grounds it, specifically in these last few episodes, are the visceral consequences. You pointed it out in the watch along, but we have never seen the gore look so good when it's like been applied to a suit. At the beginning, when they showed that huge like divot in Amazon.
Yeah.
Like that was they kept it juicy. And then the scene where like it was simple. You had him laying down on the thing, and then you just pour some black tar out next to him, and it's blood. Like all of it worked. All of the gore shots worked, and I feel like it's really helping to sell this show.
Yeah, and one thing that I also kind of appreciated, like it kind of ties in with the gore, which when Haruka's on the operating table and you see that like black ooze just kind of drop out.
Yeah.
That's also like the same black ooze that we kind of see when Sigma gets defeated. So maybe it's like some kind of Amazon related thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like the special effects look super similar. But...
Or even the color grading just making it look black.
Yeah, there's also that. But that was not the only thing they kind of like try to tie together. Towards like the end of the episode, when we kind of see that Monroe's like having like those human appetite things kind of like rise up in him.
Yeah.
We saw like in the previous fight with the restaurant that he actually ate the uneaten human flesh patty.
Oh.
Ouch. That.
Oh. Like I wasn't getting it until he started looking at him.
And they sold that so hard. Like, it
They
actually
did.
looked like a little kid, too, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, there's just so much weight in such a subtle scene. There was no subtlety before. And now we just let the scene breathe. We let the characters do their thing. We let the actors do their thing and present their emotions using their face. You don't need, like, it's a novel idea, right? You don't need to lay it all out for us in dialogue. Finally, someone gets it.
Yeah. I guess we have two other Kamen Riders that we can kind of like briefly talk about. Jin, not so much, but he did look cool when he got knocked out of his suit and kind of stood back up.
I will say that kick to the head, we reacted pretty hard in the watch along, but ultimately it didn't really look that, like, I thought it was gonna lead to more, you know, but it was just sort of you need him.
Yeah, and then like kind of like bounce off the wall, and he's like, "Oh, he's done."
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Like, that would make sense, honestly, because if you take a knee to the fucking head.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But I feel like they've gotten through worse.
That's because Heisei writers just take everything and they only de-engine when it's appropriate.
I was watching my favorite Kamen Rider movie last night. I got through half of it. It was Movie Wars Megamax, and there's this scene where Edgy just flies in the air and his head hits the ground. Like, it just, and you hear a crunching sound. That was horrific. And then I saw on Twitter, because if you don't know, Tom Constantine, who's part of the Tokusatsu network, he was doing this deep dive, or not deep dive, but like giving out some facts, and he said, "Oh yeah, this scene looks horrific, but the stunt guys completely fine. Everything was a-okay." I don't know how this relates to Amazon's, because I kind of lost the purpose of me saying it, but yeah. Head trauma.
They go through some pretty like nutty stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff they hide with the camera angles, which, like, that one move Sigma did, we kind of like blocked Jin's kick and then like use it to flip him.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it makes no sense, but the way they just like framed it, like, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't see the actual faults into that whole thing.
Yeah.
Haruka was also a thing this episode. Like, early on, he just still kind of mulling over his like credo and stuff. He's like, well, what if I don't feel the same about every single Amazon? Yes, I know I've killed a whole bunch of them. Yeah. Doesn't mean I want to kill all of them.
Some of them are garbage people.
Like, I guess, I'm not sure if they'll... That type of dialogue is fine, but it's also so, like, mundane, because we know, like, that is the correct thing.
Yeah.
So whatever the other person says really doesn't... It doesn't have much weight to it. I mean, she was trying to say, like, well, are those guys really living anyways? But then, like, we constantly kind of, like, switch focus, and all those scenes that she's in, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, I just don't... There's not much weight to her character right now, and I'm not sure if there will be. Maybe there, like, in the preview that we saw, she's talking to Jin, so maybe there might be something there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, well, I feel like we've talked this to the ground. There's a little bit more that we probably should have covered, but, you know, we're actually getting close to the end, so we're gearing up for our full series review at the end of this, maybe during Toku Week. Anyways, guys, that just about does it for us. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Again, our watch-along came out at the same time as this, so if you want to check that out, if you want to watch this episode again with us, go ahead and head over to the channel and watch it with us, because that's what a watch-along's about. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
Later.
Yeah, right.
We still have time to fill.
Oh.
Oh, nope.